I have Artistry Cosmetics, a new launch here. It's called Ink and Roses. It's absolutely gorgeous. I have the whole collection. We have the brushes, we have the singles, and we're going to go through everything. So the palette is their usual size. I believe it's 16 shades. Yeah. And the palette artwork is really beautiful. I love it. And then the inside is what I would say is a really great take on Valentine's Day. It's different. It's not your usual pink and purples and reds. It's just really beautiful. And the special shades inside of it are really nice. But this collection is a little different. It's for the first time they're coming out with magnetic single shadows, and they each come in a little sleeve like this. Only critique I do have is the actual shade names are not on the back, so I can't even tell you what the shade names are. I'm gonna have to refer to the brand page. So I mean, mine came that way. I don't know if that's all of them, but they do have a cute little, I don't know if it's acrylic or plastic, I'm assuming acrylic, and it's a little case with their logo. And this collection comes with 4, and they're very special, very shifty, shiny, beautiful. And this is a 5-pan obviously, but this collection has 4. And then the last item is their brush set. It has like a little velvet bag. It's really nice. Now this brush set, and I know I just did a video on favorite brushes, and I wanted to include this because I did have it. I wanted to include it so bad, but like I wanted to get the video up, so these are great brushes. This is a great range of brushes. As you can see, I've been using them. It has, like, this is a great cut crease brush. This is like a skinny, smaller blender, liner brush, big fluffy ones. Like the sizes and the shapes are just really great. Not to mention, like, the handles are beautiful. I love it. I think it's great. So here are the single shadows swatched. I don't know the names. I'm gonna have to put them up on the screen for you guys, but I know that the brand did label the swatches on their page, but they're so shifty, so special. They're all beautiful. And then here's the palette. I just want to do an up close little shot. I think the colors are stunning, and even though like some of these shades are not multi-chromes technically, like they're still very much special, and they're beautiful, and they're very reflective and shiny. Here are my swatches for the palette. The shimmers are very dimensional. As you can see, the first one, that rose gold, and then the gold shade, they almost look like glitter, but it's not. They're just beautiful. And that blue shade is very dimensional. There's a whole bunch of different colored sparkles inside of it. And then this very last shade, I would actually consider that a multi-chrome, probably the only one that I would consider it. I'm actually going to clean off the brushes real quick first before we get into a look. For a look, looking at the color story, I definitely want to use like this green and that green, and like maybe like the pops of like the mauves and the pinks. I don't know, but like it's really beautiful. And these shadows right here are probably my favorite in the palette. They're just so sparkly and reflective. It's almost like they have glitter in them. I've seen these type of shades before, and they're my favorite. I really love them as like a non-multi-chrome. Why isn't it? Hello? Focus. There we go. They're really, really pretty, and it almost looks like glitter, but they're smooth. So I think I want to do like just a regular cut crease and like keep it simple, and just use as many of the shadows as I can just to show how they blend, and like color combinations and stuff like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just applying my P. Louise base, just covering all the area that I plan to go over with shadow. I'm actually going to start with the #1 brush, which is like a little mini packer shade. So I'm going to start with the dark green. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to go in with the shade Thorn, which is like a deep, like burgundy. And I'm going to start here, just building it up. I always go with my darkest shade first. And I'm just going to keep packing that on, tapping motions. And I'm going to kind of create like the outer part. I'm going to bring it up a little bit over here. Okay, so here I'm just building up the lighter pink shade, I don't know the name of it because I don't have the palette in front of me, but it's a beautiful pink. Funny story, while I was doing this, I actually almost wiped this look. So I struggled with the green, and not because of the formula of the green, but as I told you before, I did wash my brushes, and you'll see once I get to the bigger brush that I use to blend out the green that it was still wet with makeup remover, and I freaking applied it to my eye. So you'll see in a second. But I'm building up that color again. I wanted to bring more depth to the inner part. But here, you can see it's a little patchy. I promise that it is not the formula. I literally went over it with a wet brush and just, it was all messed up. But it goes to show you how great and buildable this formula is, because you can see that I fixed it. I was able to fix it and make it work. I literally almost wiped the whole look and scrapped it and was going to start over. But I was like, you know what? This is actually a good example of how great this formula is, because I made this whole look work. And it actually came out really nice. But here I am going back in with my blending process and building up the depth, because when you go in with lighter shades, it does, wash it out and you have to bring it back. So now I'm taking my pointed Q-tip and my cellar water and I'm cutting the crease. I'm going to do a cut crease, and I think I'm going to use the multi-chrome shimmers. I want to make like a little smoky wing, so I'm going to use the BlendBunny gel liner, which is one of my favorites. And I'm going to create like a wing and kind of like smoke out this edge over here. I'm going to use the liner brush from this set. I'm going to coat my brush a little bit. And I'm going to, let's see, let me fix my camera. I have it on an angle so I don't go out of frame as much. But do it right about there. And I'm going to just blend it in with the other shadow and then build it back up. I took the smaller brush, the O2, I'm kind of just tapping it. I'm going to put one of the multi-chrome singles on, I think. I'm going to grab the green shade called Wilted. I'm going to add that in there too. Kind of set that. I haven't done something like this in a long time. Cute. Alright, I'm going to take the single shade, I think. I don't know the name of it, but this is the one. This is what it looks like. It's really pretty. It's like, these are my favorite type of multi-chrome, so I'm going to put that on the outer part, and then I want to take one of those really glittery shades and put that on in the inner corner. I think that would look really pretty. I'm actually going to go in with Thorn, which is that deep burgundy, and I'm going to add some color here to the lid to give like that multi-chrome shadow some base. Then I could go in and fix the liner after. I probably should have did the liner afterwards, but whatever. We figure it out. Use the Stick and Sparkle base from Diveroon. I put it on the back of my hand, just like that. Look at those shades. I want to go in with one of these on the inner part of my lid. I think that would be so pretty. They're so sparkly. I love them so much. The first time I actually seen shades like this was from Mica Beauty, and it was in the, I forget the palette, but it had the rose on it. Simplicity, that one. And it was the first time I ever experienced like that type of formula, and oh my god, it was so pretty. Okay, so I'm picking up this shade on a brush, just like that. It's slightly flaky, so let's see how it does. Just gonna tap it on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back in and fix the liner a little bit. Let me try it with my finger. I like applying with my finger. I'm a finger person when it comes to shimmers. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, I'm actually gonna wrap my eye with this iridescent shade. And then I'm gonna go into the palette and maybe this one right here and put that under my eyelid, but it might turn like a blue. It'll match the top though. Let me see. I'm just winging it here. Oh yeah, I like that. That's pretty. Alright, now I'm going back in to fix this liner. Because I completely did that backwards and messed it up. But nothing that cannot be fixed. I also want to fix up here where like I went over with the shadow a little bit and just kind of clean that up and like resharpen that. Just like that. Add thorn. Yeah, that looks good. This is so pretty. So pretty. I hope like showing these tutorials up close is like helpful. I like seeing things up close, like seeing people do tutorials from afar. I'm like, I don't know, I prefer them up close. So I hope that you guys appreciate my up closeness versus afar, because I feel like then you just like can't see the detail and stuff, you know, and my looks are can be very detailed. So I'm gonna tight line with my Huda Beauty, and I'm gonna bring it to my lower lash line as well. With a favorite pair of my lashes. These are Drita by Davini. If you have yet to try Davini lashes, they're the best. Okay, here's the finished look. I think it came out so pretty, especially for like what it is, and I like struggled because I'm stupid and I accidentally put brush cleaner after cleaning my brushes on my lid while it was still wet. So I think it came out really, really pretty for messing that up. Okay, so thoughts on the collection. I think this is a really nice collection. I think the color story is really nice. I love green and pink together, and like the mauve and burgundy shades. I think they worked really well together, as you can see. The mattes worked really nice. I think Artitude has a really, really nice matte formula. The brushes, I love. I think those are something that if you need new brushes, like definitely get that set. I think they're wonderful. The singles, I think is great. I think it's I mean, I personally like multi-chromes in my palette. Like, I will pay a high price for a palette because of the multi-chromes. But I think that this is great because not everybody does care for special shades. So, to have these as an option to get with the palette, I think is great too. I don't think that the palette itself is magnetic. No, I do wish that their palettes were magnetic, because if you're going to have, that would be my only critique. If you're going to have single shadows like this, I would make your palettes magnetic as well, so people can switch out the shades and whatnot. But I think they did a really, really, really good job in this collection. All the shimmers in here are really nice. Yeah, this is launching February 14th. I do have a code. It's STARR. It's the same code pretty much everywhere as far as I know. I'll put it in the description. And if you use it, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the support. And yeah, if you're picking it up, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did.